Minasan, okari nasai, today an absolute legend. And, well, that's it. No fancy intro. I'll talk about how amazing she is as the video goes on, so let's just dive in. Yoko Hikasa, born July 16th, 1985 in the Kanagawa Prefecture. Currently a freelancer, and her music was published under Pony Canyon. Hikasa-san became interested in voice acting while watching Sailor Moon and Neon Genesis Evangelion. Eventually, she would attend a voice acting training school known as Nihon Narration Engi Kenkyujo. She has a beautiful, energetic singing voice, having a wide range of character roles, anything from composed regular characters, femme fatales, and even tsunderes. She can even be super manipulative or a very obnoxious character, the whole package. But she herself is known for her cheerful, hardworking, and strong personality both on the radio and at live events. This woman easily has over 100 credits in over 70 different series, so for most of the video I'm just going to say the show name and show the character. If it piques your interest, well, you can just Google the show and find the character very easily. So now let's begin to talk about this epic career of hers. 2007 was her debut at the age of 22 with the role of Minamo Negishi in Sketchbook Full Color. In 2008 she only really had 2 minor roles. I'd imagine she was more focused on school, I assume her final year of college or university, because 2009 was when her career really kicked off. We'll start off with a show known as Asura Crying. There was actually 2 cores this year, so she got to do this role twice. Another noteworthy show was Nogizaka Haruka no Himitsu, actually having 2 separate characters. She was also in Umineko no Nako Koroni, a spin-off to the Higurashi series, but then the big one, Mio in K-On! Joining the live-action group Ho-kago Tea Time with the other Seiyuu, and becoming literal icons in the industry, inspiring an entire generation of performers. Then from here on out, she will have 15 plus roles every year, so I'll try to only cover popular shows or infamous ones and stuff that I recommend. In 2010, she was in Quasar of Stigmata, great show, not really, stellar cast though, but she also had Demon King Daimao, Working, Sekirei Pure Engagement, Occult Academy, Saitokai Yakuin Domo, and Heaven's Lost Property. If you know most of these shows, you'll notice a common theme. She seems to have been typecast in ecchi series very early on. She does have the voice for it though, so if you got it, flaunt it, right? Finally for this year, her together with the other voice actresses of Ho-kago Tea Time from K-On! Received the Singing Award at the 4th Seiyuu Awards. Also, Go Go Maniac, the opening from Season 2, was the best-selling song for the week of May 10th in the Oricon singles charts. In 2011, she became part of the Seiyuu unit Rokyu with Kana Hanazawa, Yuka Iguchi, Rina Hidaka, and Yui Ogura. That is an insanely talented lineup. Their first single Shoot was released and was used as the opening theme for the series. Their album Pure Elements, which mostly had insert songs from the show, also came out not long after. Now for the roles, might as well start off with Rokyu. She voiced Saki, but she was also in Beelzebub, Dog Days, Infinite Stratos, and Is This a Zombie? A show I actually enjoyed a lot back in the day for 2 very big reasons. 2012 was the start of one of my favorite roles of hers, Rias Gremory in High School DD. Though I am an unapologetic Akano fanboy, Rias is still great. And while we're on that note, let's continue with the degenerate ecchi series. She was in Aesthetica of a Rogue Hero, Madaka Box, Move Louvre Total Eclipse, and Campione. Lesser ecchi roles would include Batum, which I recommend if you like battle royales. She was also in Code Geass Akitali Exiled movies, and Nobara Yukino Koji in Inuboku Secret Service. 2013, she actually made her debut as a solo artist with the single Utsukushiki Zankoku na Sekai. This was used as the first ending theme of Attack on Titan. She actually even had 2 more songs this year as well. Owaranai Uta, the theme for the movie Hall, and Seek Diamonds, the first ending for Ace of Diamond. And there was even an album titled Glamorous Songs. And she also had her first solo concert in October. Quite the eventful year, and I haven't even mentioned her anime roles yet. Kyoko Kirigiri in Danganronpa, Kaede Saito in Encouragement of Climb, one of my favorite slice-of-life shows, Emmy in The Devil is a Part-Timer, and the young version of Rei in Free. Then she had 2 movie roles. First in Little Witch Academia, she would eventually reprise this role in the proper television series as well, and she was also in the A Certain Magical Index movie. Also, just want to mention over the years, she has voiced 4 different Pokemon anime characters, starting with Ellie in this year of 2013, but she was also Moria and Amelia in Gen 6 episodes, and more recently Bee in Pokemon Journeys, and she's also Alessa in Pokemon Masters EX. So 2014, in September, she released another album titled Colère. Maybe it's just color spelt in like a French way. Colère. Anyway, also, new song X Futurize opening for ZX Ignition. Apparently also having a limited single titled Milk Taishoku. Couldn't find any more info on that though, or even a cover. But this year she did voice in No Game No Life and Terraformars, Then also Mira in Trinity 7, and Hikasa in Hana Monogatari. 2015, she actually had a lot of good stuff, being in Maria the Virgin Witch, Danmachi, Sound Euphonium, Gate, Roka, Braves of the Six Flowers, which is the OG Among Us, and she was also in Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. Heard the show was really good. Back to ecchi stuff though, she was in Bikini Warriors, the Fate Ilia spin-off, and Chivalry of a Failed Knight. Like I said, pretty good year for her, and to top it off, she also got married. Though I don't think she's ever said to who. Secret Mystery Man. How cute. Now in 2016, she was in Please Tell Me Gyelko-chan, and Aikatsu Stars. Also in more popular shows like Berserk, New Game, Keijo, Macross Delta, and Magi Adventure of Sinbad. 2017, she had a lot of second seasons, so I'll only mention that she was in Interviews with Monster Girls, Juni Taisen, which is another something I recommend if you like battle royales or just tournaments in general, and then in Symphogear, which she actually began in 2013. This one was actually season 3, but I just wanted to add a little more to this year. The last cool role of 2017 though was Alice Telia in Recreators. And 2018, we got 3 pretty big ones to start off with. Frida Reese in Attack on Titan, finally getting a role in the series by the way, but she was also Pita Huey in Sword Art Online Gun Gale Online, shoutouts to Tomori Kusunoki, and Yoko was also Tomoe Uragawa in Bangdream, the drummer for Afterglow. This wasn't the main anime though, it was a Garupa Pico spin-off. Her main anime debut wouldn't be until season 2. She doesn't actually play the drums though, so she doesn't perform in live action with the group. I mean, she does do singing with them, but she's just not on the drums. Actually, probably should have mentioned with K-On! She doesn't play bass as Mio, she just sings. She does pretend though, and sometimes it looks convincing. Anyway, got a little sidetracked there. Some smaller roles for 2018 include Hina Matsuri, definitely recommend the Slice of Life show, and she was in Pop Team Epic, the side A part of episode 4 specifically, and also being in Goblin Slayer. Okay, 2019. She just has so many characters. I'm trying to focus on the main ones and shows I've seen, or at least ones I'd like to talk about, but damn. Very impressive. Anyway, main roles of Hina Tachibana in Domestic Girlfriend, yikes. Hibiki in Aikatsu Friends, her second Aikatsu role, sometimes performing live with the in-universe group Best Friends. Also being in Miru Tights, a short series focusing on girls wearing tights. Cultured anime at its finest. And yes, this is one that I deem worthy to talk about, so you should totally watch it. Also watch her performing in 7 Seeds, a good Netflix show. And there's also Dr. Stone and Tio Clarence in Arifueta. That character is the definition of unhinged. 2020, Wandering Witch Elena, Sorceress Stabber Orphan, Tower of God, and Utehime Iori in the ever so popular Jujutsu Kaisen. And Angela Shields, a new main character in The Irregular at Magic High School. But it wouldn't be a year of Yoko Hikasa without some degenerate role, so this time we got one in Interspecies Reviewers. 2021 was the year of the Ox, which is her zodiac animal as well. Less roles than prior years, but still a fair amount. First, she was the main white blood cell in Cells at Work Black, Io Asakura in The New Shaman King, also being in the case study of Vanitas, Vivi, The Fruit of Evolution, stellar cast with this show. And then Super D-Gen time as usual, she was actually the female version of Kiaru in Redo of Healer. So she was part of the most controversial animes of both 2020 and 2021. Well, 2022, we're almost done. She debuted into Princess Connect with Season 2, also being in the Genius Princess Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. And another personal favorite of mine, Weiss Shinee in the anime version of the American web series Ruby. Prior to this, she actually already dubbed Weiss in the original web version and even in the Blaze Blue fighting games. Speaking of game characters that also got anime versions, Yoko voiced Karuko Mifune in Love Live Nijigasaki Season 2. Some smaller stuff include RPG Real Estate, a couple of Kakus, and Summertime Rendering. Oh, also Call of the Night, amazing show. 2023, some smaller stuff in Spy Classroom, The Great Cleric, Tokyo Mew Mew New, Firefighter Daigo, and Sweet Reincarnation. Then leads in The Giant Beast of Ours and the Ito Junji collection. There were 2 more pretty cool roles, being in Love Live Sunshine in the Mirror, and in Zom 100. Then aside from anime, she actually left IM Enterprise and became freelance. This year of 2024, she's already been in The Witch and the Beast, Gushing Over Magical Girls, and Metallic Rouge. Currently in The Duke of Death and His Maid Season 3, High Speed Atoll, and More Irregular at Magic High. As for later in the year, well, all of this stuff here. Most of it is second seasons, but I wonder just how much she even auditions anymore. Or if it's more like people asking her to voice in their anime. Anyway, over the years having some minor roles in some pretty good shows, like Akiba Maid War, Beyond the Boundary, Detective Conan, Clown Out After Story, Dimension W, Farming Life in Another World, Fire Force, Food Wars, Hyoka, Is This the Order of the Rabbit, Pastel Memories, Panty and Stocking, ReZero, Strike the Blood, Sword Art Online Season 2, Lupin the Third, and even Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Aside from her solo career, having music credits in about 30 of her shows, some of which being A Certain Magical Index, Domestic Girlfriend, Encouragement of Climb, High School DD, Infinite Stratos, Inoboku Secret Service, Is This a Zombie, Roku Boo, SAO Gun Gale, and of course, K-On! As for video games, close to 70 at this point, you can assume if an anime I mentioned prior has a game that she voiced her character in it. But some bigger ones I like to mention are Street Fighter V, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Fire Emblem Heroes, having 2 characters in this one. Then there's also Fire Emblem Engage, Persona 5 Strikers, Lollipop Chainsaw, and also recently joining Uma Musume Pretty Derby. Wonder if we'll ever actually see her perform live with them. Also, I gotta mention the usual suspects that she's in: Grand Blue Fantasy, Dragalia Lost, Azir Lane, Girls' Frontline, Arc Knights, Fate Grand Order, and Magia Record. She has around 11 live-action dubbing roles. 3 pretty big ones I'd say, being in the Captain Marvel movie, the newer Ghostbusters movies, and in Scream 4. There's also about 10 foreign animation roles. I've already mentioned her Ruby role, but another big one I'd like to mention is Harley Quinn in Justice League Action. And now lives include, well, not too much. As a solo act, she had at least 2 shows around the 2014-15 era. Kind of odd her singing career never took off. I wonder if it was bad sales or just her preferring to be a seiyuu rather than a singer. Prior to this, I would also imagine she had a bunch of K-On! Events around 2010-2011. And another special performance with them, but I'll get there in a minute or so. Before that, a few things have happened in the last year or so. Like a big Aikatsu event. I assume she's been at many other events as well, but she only recently got social media, so other stuff is harder to track down. Anyway, last year she also had the Attack Fest, for Attack on Titan of course, over in Love Live being on day 3 of Aqua's Yohane Live, and Bangdream has had a couple of Afterglow live events since 2020, most recent being just a few weeks ago. Lastly, Annie-sama in 2019, she was a secret guest on day 3 performing with K-On! A decade after the show first aired. Then basically the exact same situation in 2023, being the secret act, opening day 3 with her Rokubu castmates. This one being 12 years after their anime aired. And actually one more music related thing, I usually mention it in the fun facts, but I feel like it's more relevant here. She was on the Cross Sing YouTube channel singing Oversoul from the original Shaman King, which is pretty cool because she is the lead in the newer version. So now we're on to the fun facts and whatnot. Not gonna say too much since her career was so long, but Hyo-san is 155 centimeters or 5'1". She was off social media for a very long time, only recently opening up an Instagram, but posting fairly often now. Some of her hobbies are fashion, basketball, and softball. She was a member of the softball clubs in both her middle and high schools, which were both old girls schools apparently. She also likes gaming and is particularly fond of the Monster Hunter series. More hobbies include cooking and attending cooking classes. She also has certifications to be a food instructor and natural food coordinator. Her special skills include sewing, imitation, calligraphy, and aromatherapy. She's like the very definition of a woman. The anime tracking website, MyAnimeList, has popularity trackers for everything, with Yoko being ranked 58th of all the people on the website, and one of her characters, Rias, being at 94th for all the characters. Should be higher, not gonna lie, but on that same note, her most popular characters in general are Rias, Mio, Kyoko, Yo, and Diana, with Rias and Mio being way up there, Mio just missing out on the top 100 characters on the site being at 145. I usually mention how Romy Park in Bleach and Fullmetal Alchemist was the main inspiration for a majority of the seiyuu born in the 90s. Well, Yoko in K-On! Is the main inspiration for a majority of the seiyuu born in the 2000s, and even some 90s kids as well. Yoko has herself an older brother and was the co-host of the popular weekly radio show Odoroki Sentai Momonoki 5. This was for 10 years up until 2019. And the final fact is also related to this show. During the 7th episode, she accidentally came up with the tiki pose. The pose and phrase then became wildly popular, mostly due to a fan from AKB picking it up and using it a lot, even earning different awards and titles. It has been used by a lot of different actresses, idols, and in many anime, even in later seasons of K-On! Actually, also I want to shout out to the time that Yoko was explaining her time at the sauna with Aina Aiba and Amita, a fact that made Meguchi very nervous or envious. Maybe it was both. It was definitely both. But with that, we have reached the ending. If I skipped over any roles that you like of hers, please tell me down below. There's actually so much more I could say about her, so I'll probably just save most of those facts for a different video. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed and or learned something new, please do leave me a like. And join me in the next one about the Aqua Ladies from Love Live, specifically what they do outside of the franchise. As always, I look forward to seeing you there.